Hi guys, it is Mrs. Boysall. This is going to be the last lesson of the year. So we are going to talk about note values. Super easy. You got this. So the first note we're going to talk about is this circle here, and this circle is called a whole note. And a whole note is worth 4 beats. Next we have the half note. A half note is worth 2 beats. After the half note is a quarter note, and a quarter note is worth 1 beat. Now, if you look at the half and the quarter note is filled in. Next, we have the eighth note. The eighth note is worth 1/2 of a beat. The eighth note has 1 flag. The next note is the 16th note. The 16th note is worth 1/4 of a beat, and the 16th note has 2 flags. The last note we're going to talk about is the 32nd note. This note has 3 flags and it is worth 1/8 of a beat. We're not going to focus on counting this note. You just need to know what's it called, what does it look like, how much is it worth. Let's get into the note anatomy. So, I've drawn an eighth note in 3 different parts. The first part, which I'm writing, is called a note head. The next part, which is the yellow line, is called a stem or a note stem. And the blue part is called a flag, which I have been talking about when it comes to the 8th note, the 16th note, and the 32nd note. Alright, let's draw a note tree. So I have a whole note. If I was to divide that into 2 equal parts, I would have 2 half notes because 2 plus 2 is 4. If I was to divide 1 half note into 2 equal parts, that would be 2 quarter notes because 1 plus 1 equals 2. If I was to divide a quarter note into 2 parts, it'll be 2 eighth notes. I'm going to keep going. And you would have 8 eighth notes. Alright, the 2 set of notes that I've drawn, they're just 2 eighth notes beamed together. So when you see 2 eighth notes together, it equals to 1 quarter note. If I was to break down one of these eighth notes into 2 equal parts, I would have 2 16th notes. So I'm only going to break down 2 of the eighth notes, but the first note that I broke down has 2 separate 16th notes, and the second eighth note that I broke down has 2 16th notes beamed together. 2 16th notes equals to 1 eighth note. And this last note that I'm drawing here, I'm just breaking down one of the 16th notes into 2 32nd notes. We're not really worried about that. It's just so you know it goes at the bottom and it's worth 1/8 of a beat. That's all I care about. Here I'm showing you that each row of notes equals to 1 whole note. A half note is worth 2 beats. 2 plus 2 equals 4. A quarter note is worth 1 beat. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. Once again, it equals a whole note. Moving on to the 8th note. Remember, an 8th note is worth half. So half plus 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 half equals 4, which is a whole note. Moving on to the 16th. I did not draw 16th notes, so I ran out of space. But if I had 16 of these 16th notes, 16 16th notes equals to 1 whole note. Same thing with the 32nd notes. If I had 32 of these 32nd notes written down here and equals to 1 whole note, it still equals to 4. Alright, here I just wrote in how much each note is worth. Moving on. In the right hand corner of the screen, I have my little cheat sheet of how much each note is worth. So we're going to add or subtract some of these basic rhythms together. First one is a whole note plus a half note. which equals blank. What you're going to do when you show your work, you're going to put a 4 over the whole note because it's worth 4 beats. Put a 2 over the half note because it's worth 2 beats. Add it together, you get 6. So we're going to do the same thing for number 2. We're going to add a half note plus a quarter note. Eighth note. You're going to put a 2 over the half note because it is worth 2. And you're going to put a 1/2 over an eighth note because it's worth half. 2 plus 1/2 equals 2 1/2. So, I'm not going to talk through the rest of them. You're just going to watch me do the examples. So now you guys have an assignment to do in the video. You all have 10 of these problems to do on your own. All you have to do is write the problems down exactly how I have them on this whiteboard here. You're going to show your work and then solve the problem. Take a picture of it, send it to me. You can send it directly to me, to my email, or you can upload it through Google Classroom. Just to let you guys know, some of you earned a 50% because you only did the exit ticket or the quiz. You never watched the video and did the assignment from the video. So please watch the video, do the assignment from the video, and complete the Google quiz. That's how you get 10 points, and 10 points, that makes 20 points. It's super easy. All right, so this is all you have to do. You do the 10 problems here and you the 10-point questions from Google Forms, and we are done for the year. I hope you guys have a good summer. I hope to see you guys again. Bye.